Phil Collins, a talented artist, singer, songwriter, and world-famous music producer, has left a deep mark on the hearts of millions of fans with immortal hits such as In the Air Tonight, Against All Odds, and Another Day in Paradise. However, behind the brilliant halo of his illustrious musical career is a man who carries within him many deep sorrows and indelible wounds. The greatest sorrow in Phil Collins' life is not the failure of his career or the financial difficulties he has faced. It is the loneliness and brokenness in his personal relationships, especially the separation from his children and the feeling of losing himself in the quest for success. For Phil, the greatest pain is not the loss of fame or health, but the feeling of loss when realizing that what he has achieved professionally cannot compensate for the loss of emotional and closeness with his loved ones. Phil once said, "You can stand in front of thousands of people cheering your name, but when you go back to an empty hotel room, you realize you're really lonely." That quote reflects the heart of a man who has sacrificed so much to pursue his passion that he has forgotten the small but precious things in life: family and close relationships. Broken marriages, separation from his children, especially Lily Collins, have left deep scars in Phil's heart. Although he always tried to fulfill his responsibilities as a father, his busy schedule and wrong priorities in the past prevented him from spending much time with his children when they needed him most. That not only made him feel guilty, but also became a persistent obsession for the rest of his life. In addition, Phil also faced serious health problems, especially after a spinal injury that caused him to lose the ability to play the drums, his greatest passion in life. For an artist like Phil, not being able to play music was like having a part of his soul taken away. The physical pain combined with the emotional sadness pushed him into the darkest parts of his life, where he drowned himself in alcohol to forget the harsh reality. Phil Collins' greatest sadness was not simply regret, but also a feeling of helplessness when looking back at what he had lost. Despite achieving everything an artist could dream of, fame, fortune, and global recognition, Phil still could not fill the void in his heart. It was the sadness of someone who once stood on top of the world but felt lost in his own life. Phil Collins' career has been a long journey filled with ups and downs, from his early days with the drums to becoming one of the most successful solo artists of all time. But behind that halo were relentless efforts, tears, and moments when he seemed to collapse in the face of challenges. Phil began his musical career at a very young age. Born and raised in a family that was not too wealthy but full of passion for art, Phil soon revealed outstanding musical talent. He learned to play the drums from a young age and quickly realized his passion for music. However, the path to becoming a professional artist was not easy. In 1970, Phil joined the band Genesis as a drummer, and later became the lead singer of the group after Peter Gabriel left. It was a major turning point in his career. Under Phil's leadership, Genesis achieved great success with hit albums such as A Trick of the Tail, Invisible Touch, and We Can't Dance. However, taking on the role of drummer and lead singer at the same time was a big challenge, requiring Phil to put in many times more effort than the other members. In addition to his career with Genesis, Phil Collins also developed an extremely impressive solo career. His debut solo album, Face Value, 1981, with the song In the Air Tonight, became a global phenomenon, catapulting his name to new heights. This success was not only the result of his talent, but also the result of personal pain, especially his first divorce, a great inspiration for many songs on this album. However, not everything in Phil's career was smooth. He faced painful failures, especially when his musical products were not received as expected. In the last years of his career, Phil had many health problems, making it impossible for him to continue performing as before. A severe spinal injury not only made him lose his ability to play drums, but also seriously affected his spirit. There were times when Phil felt so desperate that he wanted to give up everything. He once confessed that he cried a lot when he realized that he could no longer pick up the drumsticks, something that had been with him all his life. It was not only a physical pain, but also a great spiritual loss. Music was Phil Collins' breath, his soul, and not being able to continue creating music was like taking away a part of him. Despite many ups and downs, Phil never gave up on his passion. He continued to compose, perform, and inspire the younger generation of artists. His resilience and endless passion for music are the reasons why Phil Collins has become one of the living legends of the world music industry. Phil Collins is not only a talented artist, but also a person who constantly pursues perfection in music and life. His achievements are not limited to awards or international recognition, but also lie in the profound values he leaves for the next generation and the great influence on the music industry. From the very beginning of his career, Phil set a goal to become a comprehensive artist, not just good at one field. He did not want to be just a good drummer or a singer with a special voice. He wanted to become a storyteller through music, conveying the most genuine emotions to the audience. This is clearly shown in his solo albums such as Face Value, No Jacket Required, and But Seriously. Each song is not only a musical work, but also a story. A part of Phil's life is conveyed in every note, every lyric. One of the greatest achievements Phil has always strived for is to connect emotionally with his audience. He wants listeners to not only enjoy his music, but also feel what he has gone through. The song In the Air Tonight is a clear example of that. Written during his painful divorce, this song contains pain, anger, and emptiness that he cannot express in words. When performing on stage, Phil not only sings, but also relives those emotions, making the audience feel like they are accompanying him through each melody. In addition to his solo career, Phil has also devoted himself to the band Genesis. Under his leadership, Genesis has achieved great success, becoming one of the greatest rock bands in the world. Phil not only plays the role of lead vocalist, but also a talented producer, songwriter, and drummer, contributing to shaping the band's unique musical style. In addition to music, Phil also strives to achieve achievements in contributing to the community and society. He actively participates in charity activities, supports children's protection funds, and other humanitarian organizations. He participated in the Live Aid concert in 1985, not only performing in London, but also flying to Philadelphia to perform again. An extraordinary effort unprecedented in the history of major music events. However, for Phil, the most important achievement is not the awards or titles, but the musical legacy and values he leaves for the next generation. He wants people to remember him not only as a famous artist, but also as a person who lived his life with passion, constantly devoted to art, and always tried to overcome all challenges to achieve the best things in life. Phil Collins' love and marriage are emotional chapters in his life diary. Despite his many successes in his career, his love life was full of ups and downs, leaving him with unforgettable sadness. Phil Collins has been through 3 marriages, each of which left a deep mark on his heart. His first marriage to Andrea Bertorelli was a beautiful love affair, but inevitably it fell apart as he became famous and busy with his music career. Andrea was his childhood friend, whom Phil believed would be a peaceful place for him to settle down. However, the pressure of work and the geographical distance caused their love to gradually fade. When the marriage fell apart, Phil was immersed in pain and loneliness, feeling like he had lost an important part of his life. His second marriage to Jill Tavelman was also not without its ups and downs. Although they had a wonderful daughter, Lily Collins, Phil's busy career and differences in lifestyle put a strain on their relationship. Phil admitted that he did not spend enough time with his family, and that was one of his biggest regrets. When this marriage ended, Phil fell into a state of depression. He turned to alcohol to forget the pain, but it only made the situation worse. His third marriage to Oriane Sevi seemed to be the happy ending to his love story, but it also ended in divorce. Although the two tried to reconcile after many years of separation, irreconcilable differences prevented them from being together for long. The divorces not only left Phil with mental pain, but also affected his health and career. Phil once shared that the greatest sadness in his relationships was not the breakup, but the feeling of helplessness when he could not keep the people he loved by his side. He once wrote in a song, "I wish it would rain down, down on me," a way for him to express his feelings, hoping that the rain could wash away the pain, sad memories and regrets about what was lost. Love and marriage have been both beautiful and challenging experiences for Phil. Despite the heartache he has endured, he has never lost faith in love. He has always believed that love is an important part of life, and no matter how many times it fails, it is still worth cherishing and pursuing. Phil Collins is the father of 5 children: Lily Collins, Nicholas Collins, Matthew Collins,